So I just finished the last episode of that Knuckles miniseries that just came out, and I gotta say, it was definitely interesting. The idea of a Knuckles show was, it interested me. It was connected to like the main movies, and the main Sonic movies. Those are fine enough. They're not my favorite thing in the world, but they're enjoyable. So I was curious to see what this would look like, and I'll be honest, I wasn't expecting what it ended up being. So in the Sonic movies, there's this like side character named Wade who really isn't all that important, and he's like the main character of this show. All the advertising and like the literal title of the show would lead you to believe that Knuckles is the main star here, but no, he is not. This is not a Knuckles show. This is a Wade show that also happens to feature Knuckles, which is like funny in the idea of like they marketed this whole show about being Knuckles and it's just like not at all, but it's also not funny in the way that I kind of just wanted a Knuckles show. So the plot of this show, it starts out after the events of Sonic 2, Knuckles is just he's just kind of hanging out with Sonic and Tails at he's like part of like their like family or whatever now, even though Knuckles doesn't really seem or act or sound like a child, yet they treat him like a child. It's just kind of weird. But okay, so basically he's not really fitting in this little town. He's not really enjoying it that much. He's like killing construction workers and turning the living room into like a gladiator pit or whatever. Now that I'm thinking about it, that really doesn't have anything to do with the rest of the show, but whatever. So eventually we go over to Wade, who has just gotten kicked off of his bowling team. He wants to be on this bowling team because he wants to go face his dad in a bowling tournament, who abandoned him in a TJ Maxx. I'm not joking. That's like an actual like major plot point of the show, that he was abandoned in a TJ Maxx. And I'm 100% sure that like TJ Maxx paid to be in this show, because later on in the show, there's like a sports commentator and they're all like, man, if I was abandoned anywhere, I'd love to be abandoned in a TJ Maxx. They have great deals. And I just think it's funny that TJ Maxx paid to be in this show, and they're like, the way they're brought in is a child was abandoned in their store. If I was a store, I don't know if I would want that to be my big marketing push. Like, you can, TJ Maxx, you can leave your kids here. And so the first two episodes, it's like, so Knuckles contacts like this like ghost from his old tribe who's like, you need to carry on our legacy by training this guy in bowling, which I don't know. I don't really know why. But so the first two episodes, just kind of like, they're going on a road trip. It's very reminiscent of like the first Sonic movie. Like, they're in a truck, they're just driving around. But then episode 3 happens, and so something that's introduced is that, they go to Wade's mom's house, and, it's introduced that he has a Jewish family, which, that's not like a big deal, like that's fine. But they like really focus on this, and it's really weird because like it doesn't really come up much after this episode. Like, it's not like a thing that really is that important, but like it's really focused on in this episode that they are Jewish. And like, his mom sees Knuckles for the first time and goes like, is he Jewish? And I don't know. Like, it's really weird. It's just like a whole episode of just like Wade family drama. And then like eventually Knuckles and Wade's mom are talking, and like he's talking about how all of his people died because of that war for like the Master Emerald in the second movie. And then Wade's mom says, yeah, bad stuff has happened to some of my people too. And that's just why did they reference the Holocaust in the Knuckles show? But yeah, so there really was no point to this episode. It was really weird. And they didn't just compare Knuckles' tribe to like Jewish people and like Jewish events. Like they didn't do that once. They did it like multiple times. And I don't know why. Like, they just kept doing it and I don't know why. So the episode after this one, I kind of forgot to mention in the last episode, Knuckles and Wade became fugitives for some reason. I don't know why. They fought like two of the bad guys, little minions, and then just for some reason they hear on the radio that they're fugitives now. And like it's never really explained why, because I don't like, from what I get, they steal a truck, and that's like the only illegal thing that they did, but then they have like $100,000 bounty on their head. You know, I don't know if stealing a truck is worth a bounty of $100,000, but whatever. But yeah, so they're wanted. So Wade gets captured. He's put in this weird like cell that's attached to the back of a limousine. I don't know. But while he's in the cell, Knuckles calls him, and instead of helping him, says, you need to meditate and go to the big battleground in the sky and learn how to escape from some old echidna master that talked to Knuckles at the beginning of the show. And so then this episode of the show turns into like a rock ballad, which is how they describe it in the show. It's a rock ballad describing the events of Knuckles getting like the flames of destruction or something. And so like Wade, he plays Knuckles in this, and it's supposed to like teach him a lesson or something of like, I don't know, it's supposed to teach him some sort of lesson. But the whole thing, and like it's kind of a funny little segment. Like it's kind of fun. Like you can tell everyone's having fun with it. They're using like all of these like stage play props. It's kind of cool. It's funny. But the thing I was thinking about the whole time is, why wasn't this idea of Knuckles going after these like the flaming fist power or whatever? Why wasn't that just the plot of the show? Why wasn't this just a prequel show about Knuckles on his journeys going like doing interesting stuff and fighting this demon? Like, why is that not the plot of the show? Why is that just like, because like Knuckles in the final scene, like in the final battle of the show, he uses those like that like flame fist power that he got that he's never used before. And so it's like, why wasn't the whole show about this? The whole show could have been about him getting that power. But yeah, so it's a weird rock ballad thing. I was really confused while I was watching that. I just didn't know like what the show even was. In the episodes after this one, it just really leans into that whole bowling plot about like Wade and his dad, and it just like it just focuses heavy on it. Like it just like the whole show is just like come to a halt, and it's like, all right, we are doing this bowling side plot now. This is not a Knuckles show. It is now fully transitioned into the Wade bowling show. It is no longer the Knuckles show. And so like the main villain of the show is not introduced until like episode 5 of the 6 episode series. Like I think you see a glimpse of him in the earlier episodes, but he's not like fully a known threat until episode 5 out of episode 6. And he doesn't even really do anything in episode 5. So he's really only in episode 6, and that's for the final battle. There's really no build-up. There's like nothing. It's just so focused on this bowling side plot. And then at that point, I'm just thinking, like, why not just make like Knuckles more involved in the bowling stuff? Because like that's clearly what this show wants to be about. It wants to be about the bowling stuff. It's not necessarily what I want, but it's clearly what it wants to do. So like just let Knuckles, just like let him be on the bowling team or whatever. And then like, I don't know, like I don't get what they're going for here. I don't know who they're trying to appeal to. And then we have like the actual final battle where the weird guy shows up in a big mech suit, and it's a fun little fight. I liked it. I thought it was kind of fun. I wish the series was just more of stuff like that. But, and you know, so overall it was a series. I don't want to call it good. I don't want to call it bad because I genuinely just don't know. But that did get me thinking, like, was there no like Sonic villain that they could have used for this show to like not have the whole show be a bowling plot? Like I obviously get why like Eggman or something couldn't be in this show, because like, you know, they probably couldn't afford Jim Carrey for this 6 episode show, and then also like they're saving him for the 3rd movie to come back. But it's like they didn't have any other Sonic characters that they could use as villains. Like, I get that most of the time it's Eggman, but I don't know. I don't know. They could have done something. Like, it's just like, I don't know. I don't even know why they made this show. It's just like, there's just no real point to it. I didn't hate watching it. It was kind of like, honestly, the show was kind of entertaining just because, like, every episode I just like didn't know what it was gonna do. You know, like one episode it was about these ex-government agents hunting Knuckles. Next episode, it's a rock ballad play where that Knuckles is not in, but is about Knuckles gaining this power, and it's just so weird. And I kind of like that about it. It was kind of fun in that way, but also I don't think it really fit the idea of it being a Knuckles show. I feel like this should have been done in something else. As that also goes for the bowling plot. Just make a bowling show. Like, whoever worked on this show, it's clear that you want to make a bowling show. So, you know, go do it, okay? I don't want us to go do that. So, you know, final thoughts about the show. I don't know.